Okay, so good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
How are you all?
Fine, sir.
All right, that's great.
सर पार्टी चाहिए सर।
For what?
सर आपका यूट्यूब का
Mhm.
देखा हूँ पोस्ट
We are talking
अर्निंग।
about subscribing, like 5K subscribers. Yes, yes. You want virtual party?
यस सर यस।
अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है we'll organize, no worries. Once you get the job, come to me, meet me, and we'll celebrate that also.
ओके सर ओके।
Anyway, okay, so is my screen visible to all?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so in last class we have discussed about, okay, so in last class what we have discussed? We have discussed about difference between compiler and interpreter. We have seen, right? And we have discussed about what is Python. So Python is a programming language or high level language, or we can say general purpose language, right? And we discussed about Google Colab, right? And we discussed about class and object. Okay, so what is a class? Class which does not physically exist, but from the class we can create the object. That object exists physically. Okay, so we can say class is not a physical entity, but object is a physical entity, right? For example, if I create a class called employee, okay, so there is no face of employee actually. Employee is a concept. Employee is a concept, right? For example, I'm writing here Ram. So Ram is an object of employee class. If Ram is an object, if Ram working in some MNC, so Ram is an employee. So Ram is inheriting the property of employee class, right? For example, if I ask you, have you seen Animal? I'm not talking about Animal movie. I'm talking about Animal. So Animal is what? Nobody have seen the animal. People have seen cat. People have seen dog. People have seen elephant, right? So these are what? These are the physical entities, but this is the virtual entity, right? This is the concept. Animal is a concept, right? Okay, then we have discussed about the history of the Python. Okay, so who has created the Python language? This guy created Python language. His name is Guido van Rossum, right? He has created Python in late 1980s, right? And Python name came from a comedy serial. The name of that comedy serial is Monty's Python Flying Circus, correct? Then we have discussed about PEP. So what is PEP? PEP means Python Enhancement Proposal, right? And we have discussed about feature of Python. right? And we have discussed about creating account on HackerRank in last class. All right, that's great. And I ask you to follow me on LinkedIn, right? So that I will give you some tasks. I will assign you some tasks, and your all the tasks should be posted on LinkedIn, right? If you will follow me on LinkedIn, then I can review, I can check your progress, right? So this will be beneficial. How many of you have LinkedIn account? Can you please tell me? Can you please say yes? Write +1 if you have LinkedIn account, or write 0 if you don't have. Okay. Swati, you have to create your LinkedIn account today itself. All right.
Okay, sir.
All right. So, and today only you will send me the connection request. Okay. All right. Sangeeta, do you have now? Yes, Sangeeta has. Okay. So let's start today's class now. So today is day 8, right? So today what we have to discuss? So we have to discuss about let's discuss about what is a platform. Okay. In terms of programming language, so what's the mean of platform, right? So let me tell you what is the platform. So platform, okay, please make a note, guys. So platform is a software which provides development development environment and execution environment. Okay, so where you can develop the code, where you can develop the software, and where you can execute the software. So platform provide two facilities to develop the software and execute the software, right? So we can say operating system, right? So operating system is called platform, right? Operating system acts as an interface between software and hardware, correct? So for example, if you have the computer, right, and this computer have sound system, okay, let's suppose there is sound system, and okay, and this is having Windows operating system, and there is a keyboard, right? So let's suppose if you want to increase the volume, Okay, if you want to increase the volume, or let's suppose there is a printer as well. Okay, I'm not creating the proper diagram, but you can say there is a printer, right? So what we are trying to do, we are trying to accessing the hardware. When you are increasing the volume, when you are increasing the volume, means you are interacting to the hardware. So you are not interacting directly to the hardware, but you are interacting with interface, and that interface provided by the OS. And what are the example of OS? Like Windows, right? Or we can say Unix, or we can say Mac OS. So these are the example of Windows. I mean, these are the examples of operating system. And operating system provides what? A interface provided by the operating system. So what user will do? For example, there is a user. So user will interact with operating system, right? And operating system will interact to the hardware. Operating system will interact to the hardware. Okay, and this is the two-way communication. What are the hardware examples of hardware? Like speaker, right? Mouse, printer, okay, etc. So these are the example of hardware, right? So user will tell to the operating system, and operating system will communicate to the hardware, right? So when for example, if you are increasing the volume, okay, so how you will get to know that volume increased of the speakers? So hardware will give the information to the operating system, and operating system will provide the information to the user. So there is a two-way communication between operating system and what? Operating system and hardware, right? So it provide
स्क्रीन
what?
तो रहे सर, स्क्रीन नहीं देख पा रहा हूँ सर.
What about others?
No,
स्क्रीन
it's
नॉट.
visible.
Screen is not visible.
No,
Okay,
no, it's visible.
it's visible, no? So please check your internet connection. All right. So if I ask you, okay, okay, does anyone have any doubt? Okay, no one has any
No.
doubt. Okay, let's continue. So, okay, so can you tell me what is the mean of platform? What is the mean of platform?
Platform is a software we can do, I execute the program.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes, yes. So platform provide us two things. One is development environment, right? What does it provide? Development environment. Okay. So if I ask you where you have installed your Python software, where you have installed your Python software, in your machine, you have installed your Python software in your machine. But in which machine? In which machine? Windows machine. Okay. So this Windows machine will allow you to develop the software or not, right? And on the Windows machine only, you will execute the software as well. right or not? So it will provide the execution environment as well. Okay. So let's discuss about what is the mean of platform independent. Platform platform dependent. Okay. So what is platform dependent languages? What are the platform dependent languages? So platform dependent languages means what? Platform dependent languages means what? For example, there are some languages which are, we can say, platform dependent, like C and C++. These two languages are what? Platform dependent languages. Why they are platform dependent? They are platform dependent because, for example, let's suppose we have computers, right? And we have another computer, right? So this is Windows machine, and here this machine is what? Linux machine, right? So for example, using C or C++, you have created a software on Windows machine. Okay, you have developed one software on Windows machine, right? So that software can execute and run on Windows machine. It can run on Windows machine. But if you will change the environment, if you will change the platform, here what is the platform? Windows. And Windows is what? Operating system. Right? So if you will switch from one operating system to another operating system, then what will happen? Your software will not work on that platform, right? So this software can execute on one platform only where it has developed. But when you will switch the platform, or if you will try to execute the same software on another platform, it will not execute. Means for Windows machine you will create one software, and the same software for the Linux machine you will again develop the same software as per the Linux machine requirement. So this is the drawback of platform dependent languages, right? So what is the mean of platform dependence? Let's try to understand it more clearly. So we can say, C comma C++ programming languages are called platform dependent languages. In platform dependent, in platform in dependent platform dependent languages, development environment as well as, or we can say, and execution environment must save. Are you understanding, guys, this what I'm trying to say? If you are building the software, what they are saying, in C or C++ programming language. Okay, so C or C++ programming languages are called what? Platform dependent. Right? Why they are platform dependent? Because platform dependent languages are those languages where development environment as well as execution environment must be same. So for example, if you are developing the software on Windows machine, so the execution environment cannot be the Linux machine. So if you are building the software on which machine? If you are building the software on Mac OS, if you are building the software on where? If you are building the software on Mac OS, right? So you will develop the software here only. You will develop the software here and you will execute the software on the same platform. Right? Software will develop here and software further execute here. Is that clear to all? Say yes or no?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now the question is why C and C++ are called platform dependent? Can anyone tell me? किसी को मालूम है आंसर? सी और सी प्लस प्लस क्यों प्लेटफॉर्म डिपेंडेंट होती है? डज एनीवन नो?
No idea.
Okay, so let me just tell you. For example, let's suppose, for example, you have source code, right? Source code or source program, right? So source program, for example, if you're writing high level language code, so that is known as source code, or we can say source program, right? So let's suppose, right? So this is a source program. So can we say this program is, okay, let's change the pane. Okay, so can we say this is the, we can say pro1.c. Okay, is it a high level language code or not? And this code written in which language? C language, right? So when, how your computer will understand this program? Let's suppose here is the computer. Here is your computer. Okay, and your computer has one processor. Processor means CPU. So your computer has processor, right? And your computer has one more thing. Your computer has one more thing, which is operating system, right? So what could be the operating system? Let's suppose, can we say Windows is an operating system, right? So Windows is an operating system. Okay, so let's suppose, if I will give this program directly to the processor, will it understand? Will it be able to execute it? No, it will not be able to execute. So what we need? We need a compiler, right? We required a translator, and the translator, let's suppose we are taking this translator, which is compiler. So compiler is there. Okay, so what compiler will do? Compiler will execute this code and it will convert into respective binary code for that Windows operating system, right? What I'm trying to say here. So if you are developing the program, so if you are developing this program, so you need to translate that program. Okay, so once you will translate this program, so it will be converted into what? Binary language. Okay, so we can say binary code, right? And if you are developing this software, so if you're developing this software means if you're developing this program, so you will develop the software on machine. Okay, so here you are developing the software on which machine? Let's suppose you are developing this software on Windows machine, right? You are developing the software in Windows machine, and this Windows machine also have one processor. Okay, so it is also has processor, right? So for example, let's suppose this is not the Windows machine. Let's suppose this is not the Windows machine. This is some another operating system. It is having some another operating system. Let's suppose this is what? Linux operating system. Okay, like Windows, it is having Linux operating system, right? So are you understanding? Let me tell you once again. For example, there is a source program. So source program code is what? High level language code, right? And can we say C language program is a high level language program? Yes. So language program you need to compile. So after compiling, what it will do? It will create binary code. It will translate your C code into binary code, right? And then binary code, for example, this is the code. After translation, this is machine understandable code, right? Binary code is what? Machine understandable code. Okay, so on which machine we are developing this C software? C program software we are developing on which machine? Are we developing it on Windows machine or not? Right?
Yes.
We
Yes,
have discussed
sir.
about platform. We have discussed about platform, right now. So on platform, what we have discussed? Your development environment
Execution.
and execution environment, right? Your execution environment must be same. Platform dependent means development environment as well as execution environment must be same. So we are developing this C program. We are developing this C program on which platform? Windows platform. Okay, although this is the binary code which can execute by the processor, but this binary code can be executed by this processor or this Windows machine. But the same binary code, if you will give to the Linux machine, if you will give the same binary code is what? Translated code. Binary code is what? Translated code. So if you will give this translated code to the Linux machine, it will not understand. So this is what it is. This is the mean of platform dependent. Platform dependent means your execution environment and development environment. and second one, execute environment must be safe. Understanding, guys, what I'm trying to say? For example, let's suppose, okay, there is a machine. There are two machines. Okay, so this machine having CPU 1 and this is having CPU 2, right? So CPU, what do you understand by CPU? CPU, you can say like brain of the machine. So this machine having some brain. CPU is what? A brain of the machine. But this brain, the brain of this machine, the brain of this machine understand what? The brain of this machine understand Telugu. Okay, and the brain of this machine, the brain of this machine understand what? English. So can we say like Telugu language code can be understand by the machine B? Is it possible?
Not
Or
not possible.
English language code can be understood by the Telugu machine? It is not possible, right? Because both has different brain. Both has different brain. The brain of this machine understanding Telugu and the brain of this machine understanding English. So how come they can communicate? How come they can share their softwares to each other? So that things make it platform dependent, because the translated binary code is what? This code makes a language dependent on a particular machine, because binary code is platform dependent, right? If somebody asks you binary code is a platform dependent or independent, what you will think like binary code is 0101, so any machine can understand this code. But that is not true. That is not true. Binary code makes a language platform dependent. So how come we can make a language code platform independent? So we required intermediate code. In this case, we required intermediate code, and that intermediate code is not actually binary, not actually high level language. So intermediate code is known as bytecode. Okay, so the platform independent languages uses this bytecode. Okay, if you are saying Python is a platform independent language, so somehow Python will use this bytecode, right? If some language is producing this binary code after translation, that is what? That means the language is platform dependent. If the language is generating intermediate code, which is nothing but bytecode, so that language is what? Platform independent. So let's try to understand it in more better way. Okay, so we can say C comma C plus plus programming languages. Okay, C or C plus plus programming languages compiler, or we can say compilers generate native code. Okay, or we can say native code, or we can say native code or binary code. Native code means, for example, your native language is Hindi. Okay, so native means your understandable, your understandable. Understandable language is what? Hindi. So here native also compiler generates. So when compiler translating the code, so it is generating native code for that machine. For example, there is a Windows machine, so that will generate the native code for Windows machine. Okay, if window understanding some like for example I said like Telugu, here I'm giving the example. If this here the native language here is what? Telugu. So your translator, the translator which will work on this CPU one, which will generate the native code, right? So let's do not go in much deeper in the discussion. Let's complete this. Okay. Binary code respective to respective to operating operating system. This code is platform, right? Platform is what? OS. Okay, platform dependent. Okay, OS dependent, operating system dependent. C++ programming languages compilers generate native code or binary code respective to that operating system on which they are developing. This code is platform dependent, right? So okay, let's talk about platform independent languages. Okay, so what are the platform independent languages? Okay, so platform independent languages, right? So what are the platform independent languages? We can say in platform independent languages, development environment and execution environment may not be same, right? So for example, if you are creating the software, right, you have to build one software. Let's suppose Zomato application. Zomato application software you have to develop, right? So for example, you have two machines. Okay, so one machine is what? The first machine is Windows machine, right? And the second one is Linux machine, right? So if you are building the software, if you are developing the software on this machine, if you are developing the software on Windows machine here, okay, so that software can be executed on Linux machine. Okay, can be executed on Linux machine. Okay, so what I'm trying to say, development environment is different and execution environment is different. So it may be same. If it is same, there is no problem. Development and execution both are same, no problem. And when development and execution are different, then also no problem. But in the case of platform dependent languages, where you are developing the application on that platform only, you can execute. You cannot change the execution environment in such cases, right? So I have written here what? Platform independent languages, development environment and execution environment may not be same. It could be same, but it could be different as well, right? All clear, guys? Are you listening?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Sir,
Okay. What about Sangeeta and who speaks, Sangeeta or Swati? Okay, okay, all right, that's
Yes,
fine.
sir.
Bhavani is not there today, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so for example, let's try to understand what happens actually. What happens actually? Why platform independent languages? Why platform like why Python or we can say Java are platform independent languages? Or we can say why the question is why Python is platform independent, right? So can anyone give me the answer? Can anyone tell me?
I think we will create web applications with this.
Mm, mm, no, not exactly. Not exactly. Let me tell you. Okay, so let me tell you. For example, I have written Python code. So Python code is what? Source code. Can we say Python code is a source code? Yes, right now
Yes.
Python code is a source code. So Python code file, how you will create? You will create .py file. And what will be the name of the file? Name of the file could be any, right? For example, demo, correct? Demo.py, right? So this file, this demo.py file, if you will computer understand this demo.py file directly? Yes or no?
I think not.
No, computer will
No,
not understand it. Okay, so what we
no,
required? We required
Compiler.
one translator.
no.
And here, let's suppose the translator is what? Compiler, right? So after compiling this demo.py file, what compiler will create? So here you have to understand it very clearly. Compiler will generate here what? It will not generate the binary code. It will generate one intermediate code. And that intermediate code is nothing but bytecode. Compiler will generate bytecode, right? And this bytecode can be further translated by PVM. This bytecode is translated further by, can machine understand this bytecode? For example, this is the Windows machine. There is a Windows machine, Windows operating system. So Windows operating system cannot understand this bytecode directly. So what we required? We required one translator. So here we required one more translator to execute this bytecode, right? So what we required here? We required here PVM, right? So PVM will execute this code. PVM will execute this bytecode, and then it will create machine understandable code or Windows understandable code, right? So what it will do? It will create machine understandable code and machine will understand, right? What is the full form of PVM? What's the PVM full form?
Python
Py-
virtual machine.
Python virtual machine.
Python virtual machine, right? So this PVM will execute the bytecode, right? So we can say Okay, so let's suppose there is one more machine. There is one more machine, and here the machine name is. Okay, so there is one more machine, and this machine is what we can say Linux, or we can say Unix. Okay, this is the Unix operating system this machine having, right? So if I will give this bytecode to this Unix machine, will it understand or not? The Unix operating system will understand our bytecode or not? Say yes or no.
That's
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell me whether Windows understand this bytecode?
No.
Then why Unix can understand? Then how Unix can understand? How Unix can understand? If Windows, we are developing this code, we are developing this windows.py, I mean demos.py file. On which platform? We are developing this demos.py file on Windows platform. But this bytecode is what? Compiled code. Compiled code, or we can say translated code is what? Bytecode. But bytecode cannot be understood by Windows where we have developed. Then how this Unix will understand the bytecode? So my question again, will Unix understand this bytecode?
We need to ppm again there.
Yes, yes. So who is understanding this bytecode? So bytecode is further after compilation, bytecode further translated by PVM, right? So when you download the Python software come with, when we talk about Python software, when we talk about let's just so Python software, when we talk about Python software, right now, so Python software comes with what? It comes with editor. What is the name of editor?
Ideally
IDLE. Next thing is what?
ppm.
PVM. Next thing is what? Standard standard libraries. Yes or no?
Yes.
Next thing is what? Next thing is what? For example, if you want to install Django library, how you will install? Let's suppose if you want to install the NumPy library, how you will install? For example, if you want to install the Pandas library, how you will install? How you will install the external libraries?
Import.
No, it comes with it comes with it comes with what? Pip. Pip is what? Command line utility. So it comes with pip as well, right? So when you download the Python software, it comes with PVM. So PVM execute which code? PVM is execute the bytecode. Who generate the bytecode? Compiler compiler generate what? Bytecode, and that bytecode executed by PVM. Understanding, guys? So if you want like your bytecode can be understood by the, if your bytecode can be understood by the Unix operating system. So on this machine, for this machine, what you required for this machine? You required one software which is PVM. Okay, so this bytecode, the code which is intermediate code, this is known as intermediate code. So who will execute your further intermediate code? PVM. And if the PVM execute this code, so that code can be understood by the Unix system. If here PVM executing this bytecode, if PVM executing bytecode here, on Windows machine, so that executed code by the PVM will understand by the Windows operating system. Are you understanding this? This much? How many of you are understanding?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Is there any doubt?
No, sir. No.
One more thing.
Yes, yes, tell me.
If, for example, I created a program using the Python
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, for the Windows, I want to same software installed in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
How can I execute? How can I download the PBM only?
See, then till now we have PVM for Windows machine, Unix machine, but PVM is not there for the Android, right?
Okay.
And if you want to build the mobile applications in Python, so for the mobile applications you have to use the different libraries, right? So that will create mobile specific code they will generate, right? But Python is not mobile friendly. Okay, Python can be used in different purpose, but it perform well when you use it for AI, if you use it for ML, if you use it for data science. Okay, if you want mobile applications, so Python will not much suitable, because for the mobile application development you should go for the Android, you should go for the react native. So these are the languages more fruitful for the mobile application development. But your question is valid, that which like how PVM will execute, but for the mobile you will not install the PVM. On your Windows machine only you will install the PVM, and you will use some library which allow you to develop the mobile application. And after creating that mobile application you can install that on your mobile, right? But it is not suitable for the this is not recommended for the mobile applications, right?
Oh, okay.
All
Sir, can we develop software standalone applications with this?
right. Come again, please.
We, can we create a standalone application with these platform independent languages?
Standalone software you want to develop through this Python language? Yes, you can create. Okay, standalone applications, like for example, if you want to create let me give you an example. For example, standalone applications. stand, okay, so standalone applications, like if you want to develop, for example, if you want to create the calculator application. Okay, if you want to create the calculator application, that you can do, right? That you can create. But only Python is not sufficient to create the standalone application. You can write the logic, you can write the logic behind the application, but for providing the interface, either you will use tk inter library, or you will use streamlit, or you will use flask, or you may use django, or we can say Django, right? So with you need to take the help of library and framework to create the standalone application. But logic you can write, right? For working on these platforms, what is the mandatory, what is the requirement, what is the criteria? Python is a criteria. First step is Python. Without Python you cannot enter into this era. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. Okay, let's continue. Please go on mute. Okay, all right. Now the question is, what is bytecode? Okay, so these are the questions for the interview. Like, do not think you will learn something different for the interviews. These are the things will directly ask you in the interviews. When you go to the interviews for the freshers interviews or maybe 1 year experience interviews, so such we can say such questions may ask by the HR or interviewer. Okay, so what is bytecode? So we can say compiled code of Python source program is called bytecode, right? So bytecode is Python virtual machine code. Python virtual machine means PVM code, right? Bytecode is platform independent code, right? Bytecode is what? Platform independent code. Can we say bytecode is not zeros? Some people think bytecode is zeros one. I mean in the form of zeros and ones. But binary code is in the form of zeros and one, right? So bytecode is not in the form of zeros and ones. Bytecode collection of mnemonics. Okay, so it is a collection of mnemonics, right? Mnemonics are what are the mnemonics? Mnemonics are what? Verbs. We have discussed now in assembly language. Assembly language code is written in what? Mnemonics. So mnemonic code are memory aid of mnemonics. Okay. So human understandable abbreviations are known as mnemonics. Okay, so this is the source code. You can see here a perfect example. Okay, so you can see here this is what? Source code, and source code is what? High level language code, right? Compiler and interpreter. Okay, and if the compiler interpreter converting it into what? Mnemonics. So the mnemonics, or if compiler or interpreter is converting into the bytecode, so bytecode contains what? Bytecode contains what? Mnemonics, and mnemonics are verbs. Mnemonics are what? Mnemonics are verb. Can you see here? Move written, add is written. So this move, add, right? So this is what? Mnemonics. And which language use this mnemonics? Assembly language, right? And this code, this byte code further executed by PVM, right? And then after that it goes to the execution. So byte code is not zeros in the form of zeros and one, right? So now the question is, what is PVM? So what is PVM, guys?
Python virtual machine.
uh, it is a full form, but what is PVM? So as you said,
It will
PVM.
translate a bytecode into binary code.
Correct. Nice. So PVM
Because
stands.
compiler.
Yes. We can say PVM is kind of compiler, or you can say interpreter. Interpreter is more suitable for the PVM because PVM also work line by line. Okay, it execute bytecode. Okay, we will discuss. No worries. So PVM stand for Python Virtual Machine, right? It is a software provided by the Python language. PVM is having translator called interpreter. Okay, so PVM has translator, and that translator name is what? Interpreter, right? Okay, so we can say interpreter translate, interpreted translate bytecode, okay, into what? Into executable machine code. Okay, or we can say machine understandable code. Is that clear, guys? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's start the programming fundamentals. Till now everything was theory. Now let's start with programming fundamentals. Okay, so programming fundamentals, right? So what are the programming fundamentals? Like we can say, so programming fundamentals are, we can say, tokens. Second, we can say keywords, identifier, right? Identifier. Then we can say literals and data types and operating system. I mean operators, right? So you should know very well about these programming fundamentals before learning any language. Okay, so let's discuss about. Okay, so let's discuss about tokens. Okay, so what are the tokens? So we can say a token is a smallest individual unit within program. Without tokens, a statement cannot create. right? So tokens are what? Tokens, for example, uh, when we are talking about keywords, when we are talking about keywords, okay, so what is the mean of keywords? Keywords are those words that meaning a language already knows. Okay, so for example, if I'm writing here Swati, right? So does Python know the meaning of Swati? Does Python know meaning of Swati? Let's suppose, for example, I'm writing here Pankaj, right? So does Python know about Pankaj? No. So Python does not know. Python does not know about these words. So these are not the keywords. These are not the keywords. So what are the keywords? Keywords are the words which understand by the Python. For example, if I write here for, so for, what is the mean of for? Python already knows. For example, I am writing here if, Python already knows. If I am writing here in, Python already knows, right? For example, if I am writing here def, so Python already knows about them. So such things are what? Keywords. Keywords are the words, the meaning of that Python, a language already know, right? Second category of token is, so keyword is what? Keyword is also a token. Keyword is also a token. Next example is what? Identifier. Okay, so for example, in the memory, this is, let's suppose this is the memory. Okay, this is memory in Python. I mean, this is a memory in computer. And for example, if you want to store this value, what is this value? 10. So if you will store this value in memory, will it require some space or not? Does it require space? Yes, it requires
Yes.
some space. So this space taken by this number, which is 10, right? But how you will identify this number again in the memory? How you will figure out this number in the memory? So you need an identifier which through you can call this name. So identifier are the name of the block in the memory. Okay, so what's the name of this block? There is no name of this block. Then how you will call 10 again in the memory? So we should have, we must have the name of the block. So let's suppose this memory block name is A. So this A is what? Identifier, which through we can identify 10. So here also we can say A is equal, we write what? A is equals to 10. So A is equals to 10 means, A is equals to 10 means here A is what? A is what? An identifier. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Next is literal. So identifier is also a token. Identifier is also a token, right? Next are literal. Literal means the constant value which you are assigning to a variable. Here what's the constant value? Which is 10. So this 10 is what? Literal. Okay, this 10 is what? Literal, right? Okay, so if I ask you, this literal is also a token, right? So literal is also a token. If I ask you which data is stored in this memory block, so what you will say? You will say this is what? Integer data. This is which data? Integer data. In integer we write int In short, the short form of integer is what? Int. So this is what? Integer, right? So when we are saying integer, so we are telling the data type. We are telling of type, means type of this data. What is data? 10 is a data, or we can say literal is a data. But what is the type? So data type. This is the data type is what? Integer. So we are checking what? Data type. Data type of this value. So this data type is also a token, right? And there is an operator. Okay, there are different types of operators in Python, but this is the operator which we are using to assign the value. So it will assign value from right to left. Means this 10 value which is at right hand side, it will assign to this variable, into this a variable. So this which is doing this operation, this assignment operator. So this equals to is what? One operator. Okay, so when we are talking about identifier, this is also a token. We are talking about data type, these are also a token. Literal also token, operator also token. Okay, and we are talking about keywords. So keywords are also example of token. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
yeah, okay, let's try to understand it more appropriate way. So let me write here. So keyword, right? So what is the keywords? Keywords are what? Language related word. Okay, which language can understand? Keywords are language related words. The meaning of keyword, the meaning of keyword is reserved. Okay, the meaning of keyword is reserved by Python translator. Okay, so Python translator knows the meaning of those words. And we can say each keyword is used to perform specific operation, right? So now the question is how to find keywords of Python, right? So how to find the keywords of Python? So how you can find? What you can do, you need to import one library. What's the name of the library? The name of the library is keyword itself, right? So this library, okay. So what I'm trying to say, let's suppose there is a library. The library name is keyword, and let's suppose this is the library, right? And this keyword library having some functions, some function. This keyword library having some function, right? So this keyword library having some function, and the function name is, let's suppose, kw list. Okay, and this kw list is storing all the functions which used in the Python language. Okay, so for example, for is a keyword. Okay, means this kw list is storing all the keywords. Okay, and where is this kw list? In the keyword library. Okay, in the keyword library it is containing kw list, and this kw list having keywords, all the keywords in the Python, like that. So what we will do in program, we need to import which library? Keyword library. Then what we have to write? We have to say keyword dot, because it is inside the kw list is inside. If you are writing kw list directly, kw list directly, so your compiler will confuse what is this kw list. So what you will say, inside the keyword library there is a kw list, so you need to mention here. So what you will do, you will write here keyword. Okay, when you are writing keyword and you are saying inside, so you need to say dot, keyword dot kw list. Okay, right now here you cannot see the output. So to get the output, either you can open Google Colab or IDLE. Okay, so here I am opening what? IDLE. Now the question is, do we need to install this keyword library? We don't need to install the keyword library because it comes with Python software, because this is a standard library. So what I will do, I will write here keyword and I will say kw list. When I'm writing kw list, what it is saying, what error it is showing? Name error. It is saying name kw list is not defined, right? So it is not able to recognize because it is inside the keyword library. So what we need to do, we need to write here keyword dot kw list. Okay, so if you will write here, so you can see this is the list we are getting. These all the keywords are there inside the Python, right? So let's suppose I want to count this all the keywords, how many total keywords are there in Python. So how you will count? Will you count like this, 1 2 3 4, right? If you are the programmer, then you will not do this silly things. Okay, so what you will do, you will say, there is a length function, and inside the length function, whatever you will write, it will tell the length. So can I write keyword dot kw list? If you are writing keyword dot kw list, so means all the this entire list went to the length function, and length function will tell the number of keywords. So if I will press enter, what it is saying, 35. How many keywords are there? 35 keywords are there in Python 3.4 version. What's the current version of Python?
3.14.
Yes. What is major and minor version? What's the
Major,
difference between major and minor versions of Python?
major version is Python 1, 2, 3, and sorry. Uh,
Yes. So the difference is what? Difference is basically major version there is no compatibility. Minor version there is a compatibility. We have discussed it in the last class. Okay, so what's the mistake here? What's the mistake here? In this line, we didn't use, we here we are writing correctly keyword dot kw list, but what is the mistake here? We mixed the keyword dot, right? And these all are the keywords, number of keywords. Here you can see length, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's stop it here. Okay, and about identifier and all we will discuss in the next class, right? Does anyone have any question?
no.
No question, I guess. So Swati, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, yes. So what you have to do, you have to create your LinkedIn profile, right?
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you, guys. So we are ending the session here. Tomorrow we will continue, right? Thank you, everyone, for giving your time. Bye, all of you. Good night.
Okay, sir. Night.
Thank you, sir. Bye.